Hi everyone, welcome to part one of my beginner's guide to pyromancy speedruns on Dark Souls 1. So I've previously done Blacksmith Giant Hammer and Gravelord runs, and now I'm going to try pyromancy. So back in the day, pyromancy used to be the fastest route when the game first came out, but over time people found out a lot more about the game, and pyromancy was no longer a real contender. So as such, there aren't really many modern guides on how to run it nowadays, using a lot of the new tricks that people have developed. So I kind of wanted to do that and also give like a bit more of an interesting alternative. So I've done that. So I've kind of based this off of the old school pyromancy strats. And I've once again used Ubergusmage's amazing videos as a way to kind of learn that for myself. And then I've tried to modify it to bring in a lot more modern techniques with things like item duping and Toki bombs, and also find a way to make this as beginner friendly as possible so that people who aren't like world-class level speedrunners can actually do this without getting really frustrated. So that's my little intro, just to cover everything that's happened in the run so far. We want to start as the Pyromancer class because it will give us the Pyromancer glove without having to go to the depths to get it, and we want to choose the Master Key so we can access Valley of the Drakes and Quelaag as soon as possible. Get out of your cell, on the ladder, take off all of your armor except for your trousers, run through here. At the door we drop the broken straight sword that we start with in our inventory, and then we want to pick up the shield and we pick up the hand axe and we equip both of them while we go through this fog. All of that is very normal for any other run. Perhaps the thing worth mentioning is the reason we strip down to the trousers is because we're going to use the Drake sword, and if we have anything else equipped with the Drake sword, then we'll be fat rolling. We're going to pick up the shield because I tested a lot of strategies against Taurus. I find Taurus really hard, and the most consistent way I found was to use the shield. So we grab the shield, we want to R2 that first guy because then we can one-shot him. We duck back and get the Pyromancy glove, and then we go through. We do forward and R2 to get the jumping attack, and then hammer R1 while we're in the air to try and get that extra hit, and double-handed that will give us 415. Here, same as all the other times we do Asylum Demon, we're going to hang back behind his left leg so that we get that sweep back attack as he tries to hit us behind, and then we duck into the middle to avoid the attack, and we just cut away at his ass. So I tend to do R1, R1, R2. So the R2s with the hand axe do quite a lot more damage, and if you put them at the end, then you're able to do 3 attacks because they use more stamina, whereas if you wanted to do R2, R1, I think you wouldn't then have enough stamina for the second R1. So we've done Asylum Demon, we come up here, and we're going to put 1 level in Dexterity so that we can use the Drake Sword, and I think it's 16 Strength, but we start with 10, and we'll two-hand it. So we need to kill 2 hollows on the way to the Merchant, so we're going to kill our first one here, and then we're going to do the stairs as we normally would. What we can hope for is that often one of these guys will fall off, and that would be our second hollow. We don't get anyone fall off, so when we get to the top of these stairs, we're going to kill the hollow that stands in front of us, and that will be our 2 hollows. If one of the guys had suicided, we would be able to just run past these, because we would have the souls that we need. When we get to the Merchant, we are going to buy a dagger, which we need for taking on Taurus. It's the easiest weapon to kill him with using gold pine. We're going to buy throwing knives, which we need for the Drake. We're going to buy bombs for the Toki bombs against Bed of Chaos. And we're going to buy a bow and arrows. The arrows are for shooting Guinevere, and the bow is for shooting the arrows and lining up the Toki bombs. So I tend to go dagger, bow, buy 4 arrows, get 3 fire bombs, and then I just spend the rest of my souls on throwing knives because I find getting the Drake with the throwing knives to be a complete nightmare. So I just buy as many as I possibly can. Here we're just going to run through. We do a little circle around these guys. So normally you can make this. Often they do the same attack, so you can actually make the circle a little bit tighter than I do there. There I got 1 jumping and 1 stationary, which is meant I had to swipe out a bit further around. It was a bit slow. Here, just cut right, cut left, open the door. We want to grab the gold pine. I tend to open the box to the left because often it will make that hollow with a spear walk away. We do a jump, and then we're going to dodge the barrel. So we want to jump here, so make sure you don't have your shield up so that your character jumps instead of rolls. Now we're going to do Taurus. So we go through the fog and we want to equip the dagger. Then we are going to run forward, and I tend to run forward and then duck right and apply the gold pine, and this tends to mean I don't get shot by the arrow. With Taurus, you're going to be able to get 2 strikes off right at the start. So we should be able to see 1, 2. And unfortunately, like, I'm not in enough to avoid. So the strat we're going to go for is you just want to swipe away, but when he hits, you're just going to put your shield up and try and walk between his legs. I have real problems with this fight because his hitboxes just seem absolutely crazy. And that's like the safest strat I've found. So just swipe, 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 and then when he attacks, put your shield up, walk between his legs, and make sure you've got enough stamina to soak the hit. If you're better than me, then brilliant. You don't need that shield. Here, you want to start walking from the edge of the right wall to minimise your distance. So you want to run a straight line straight towards the corner. Make sure you've got full stamina, and then cut to the right. Now we're going to get the Drake's Sword. So we need to apply gold pine to our dagger. Then we get the throwing knives out, and we need to line it up. So here, you want to flick forward on your controller so you're facing forward, and cover that tower with like your shoulders so that your head's peeking over the top. You want to take a walk forward so that you're in front of his feet when he starts the attack, then run forward to his tail and swipe 3 times. It's quite hard to describe at speed, so you might just want to watch that section back. And this is where we get the Drake's Sword out. So if we had any more armor on at this point, then we would be fat rolling. This is why we've just got the trousers. So we're going to use the Drake's Sword to get all the way through the church, to do the gargoyles, then to get down to Quelaag and to kill Quelaag, and that's why we need the Drake's Sword. The start of this run, in my opinion, all of this is actually quite hard to do. Like, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. That dagger throw is a bit of a nightmare, etc, etc. But it is kind of all in the first 10 minutes of the run. Here, you can quit out as soon as you activate that pressure pad. You don't need to wait for the lift to start moving. We're going to load back in, and then we're going to go and grab the Firekeeper Soul, because we want to dupe it to get 30 humanity for the Chaos Covenant. So just loop around. He just keep a pace and he'll almost never hit you. Now we're going to go up the stairs. With this guy we can kill him in 2 hits. I find that much easier than trying to juke him because we don't have a good shield. Obviously make sure you're two-handing up till there to use the sword, and then you can just take them as you would normally. I couldn't find very consistent strats for running that without taking it on the shield, so I just took it on the shield. It seems like the easiest way. And then here you just want to clear out your inventory a little bit, so get rid of the shield, get rid of the gold pine, and get rid of the daggers. So we'll go into gargoyles, we'll heal up, and then we'll take them on. I've already recorded this footage. I don't get the best gargoyles fight. It's not amazing, but I do it. So a couple of things. You want to try and get a running attack on each of them if you can, because you're going to have a little bit of health left over with the damage that you do, and I think that getting one running attack will make the difference so that it saves you an extra strike. But you might need 2. You might need 2 on the first one and 1 on the second. So while this fight plays out, I'm just going to talk about some of the challenges at the start of this run. So getting the dagger throw for the dragon I find quite challenging. That lineup I showed you where you cover the tower with your shoulders and head and then throw after, like making sure you step forward to angle it up. That's the easiest strat I've found. I don't know if anyone's got any videos for better strats, please post them, I'd love to know. At those stairs, you may also be able to go down to the bonfire, so where you're doing that throw, if you wanted, you could also go down to the bonfire if you're worried about losing your souls. I haven't tested it, but I think if you go down, you kick the ladder, rest at the bonfire by the archer, then come up the ladder and go back up and then throw the arrow at the drake, the knife at the drake. I think you can do that. I think you can rest and the drake is still going to swoop in, kill everyone, then sit up there. So you could still do that if you're worried about your souls. Yeah, I guess if it's going to take you a while, but the thing is, you've only got so many throwing knives, and it's only 5 minutes into the run, or 6 minutes. So yeah, I mean, that's your call, I guess. So with this run, I'm not going to dupe any Homeward Bones. So this is going to be my first kind of glitch tutorial. So we're going to do item duping, but to make it easy, we're not going to dupe any bones. So that bone we get from Taurus, we can use that to bone back here. We use the souls, level Vit to 20 and level endurance to 15, and then we just progress. We are going to kick Lautrec off, and then we'll progress down to Blighttown. So with Lautrec, you need to make sure you get the souls. You can see that plus 1,000. Don't quit out before those souls come up, otherwise when you reload he'll be there. And now we're going to go down to Blighttown. So pick up the Humanity and the Fat Ring. In the lift you're going to want to equip the Fat Ring and then equip the rest of your armour, and then use Estus to just top up your HP to full, and then we'll go through Blighttown. For Quelaag, Quelaag is a little bit of a challenge because we don't do much damage. So effectively, like, there's lots of different ways to kill gargoyles, but there's not many ways to kill Quelaag at the start of the run unless you want to invest heavily. And we don't want to be buying shards to upgrade weapons. We're not leveling any of our stats. So getting the Drake Sword is really the only way we can do it. And the easiest way to get the Drake Sword is with those throwing knives. So that's why we've kind of got the route that we have and how we've come to it. I tried a lot of alternatives and I just couldn't find any other strats that really worked. So unfortunately, in my opinion, the start is a little bit harder than I would like, up until Gargoyles, but after that the run's pretty straightforward. So here we're going to do like an easy Blighttown drop rather than the full. So just walk over the ladder and then roll twice. So roll once off the edge, roll twice off the edge. You'll come down and then you can just go off this and then roll off the next one, and then we're at the ladder. So I'll do the full Blighttown drop at a later point in the run so you can see that as well. Heal with Twin Humanities because we want to heal with Humanity because it's quicker, and Twin Humanities keeps our inventory cleaner and gives us an extra soft Humanity. And then we're just going to run through to Quelaag. So you just want to roll through all the boulders. You're going to get poisoned. There's nothing you can do about it. So let's talk about the Quelaag fight quickly. With Quelaag, the general strat is the same as always. You want to try to head away from her to get her to charge you, and then once she charges you, you come back in and she'll do her stabbing attack, which is 4 swipes. And once you've dodged the first one, you can kind of just wail on her head. So we're going to do that. The one thing to be aware of with this fight is that it takes a really long time because we don't do a lot of damage, so we need to be a bit more aware of lava than normal. So here, she's going to jump. She'll always do a jump or a long spew, so just run at her. If she jumps, you can run straight under her. If she does a long spew, duck to the right and start laying into her legs. So here we back away, come back in, and then she does her pattern of 3 or 4 attacks. And then we just stick to the right-hand side of her head, and we keep hitting her. With the stamina that we've got, we can get off 5 attacks in the time that we have, and then run away. If you've got the discipline for it, like I try and do 3 and 2, so 3 attacks, let my stamina recharge just a little bit, and then I do 1, 2, and then I back up. The explosion is the one you really need to look out for, and the big risks in my mind are getting trapped in her legs so you can't get out and then she explodes, or getting carried away doing 4 straight attacks, having no stamina left, and then she explodes and you can't run away. But you can see here, like we're doing like 70 something damage per hit, I think, and the fight just takes a while. So in comparison to other routes, this fight is much slower than the Gravelord Sword and the Blacksmith Giant Hammer route, but we do get here much quicker, so this is the fastest Quelaag finish time out of all of them. But because the fight takes a while, you need to be really mindful of where the lava is, because she's got lots of time to set up lava all over the map, and then it's very easy to very quickly become pinned in with nowhere to go. And with the HP and armor that we've got, you can't survive blast. So if you get caught in her explosion at close range, then you're dead. Here I think we're going to see the ranged attack. So the two-handed R2 is an explosive attack that pushes forward. You can see the dirt rise up from the ground, and it does really good damage as well. So if you've got time and she's charging you and you're waiting for her to come to you, that's a great attack to do, and I tried to use that a few times with the gargoyles as well. So here we come to kind of the first interesting bit of the run that's really different to any of the others. So we are going to ring the bell, and then we're going to drop down. We picked up the Firekeeper Soul so that we can join the Chaos Covenant. So we're going to go through here, talk to Engi. Be aware his default answer is no. And if you answer no, I think you're screwed. So, or maybe you can talk to him again, I think, actually. But you need to make sure you press left and then hit yes. Now, we're going to dupe the Firekeeper Soul until we can get ourselves up to the 30 humanity that we need to get the top level in the Chaos Covenant and unlock the shortcut. And that means that we don't have to fight the Centipede Demon and the fiery Asylum Demon, I can't remember the name of them, which is great because they're both immune to fire attacks and we're doing a Pyromancy run. So I'm going to cover the duping technique at the very start of the next video. But while when you talk to Quelaag's sister, the first thing you want to do is use the Firekeeper Soul to reinforce your Estus Flask, because it's right there. It takes like half a second to select the option, and why not? So reinforce your Estus Flasks. Now you've done the dupe, because you won't need it anymore. Then you want to join the Covenant, and then we have to go through like 3 minutes of these menus to hand over our 30 humanity. And what that will do is it'll unlock the highest level of the Covenant, which will unlock the shortcut, which means we can skip Demon Fire Sage and Centipede Demon and go straight to Bed of Chaos later in the run, which saves us time. And it also gets us Great Chaos Fireball, I think it is, or is it Chaos Firestorm? Anyway, but yeah, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to talk about the duping technique at the start of the next video. So once we've got level 30 in the Chaos Covenant, what we're then going to do is we're going to take Quelaag's Soul and we're going to dupe it until we're up to, I think it's 112k souls. Then we use that to reinforce our Pyromancy Flame to plus 12 with Engi. And when you get your Pyromancy Flame above plus 10, then Quelaag appears in the Blighttown swamp. So once we've reinforced our Pyromancy Flame, then we will run out, chat to Quelaag, buy the spells we need, and then we will Dark Sign back to Firelink Shrine. So that's kind of what makes this run a bit interesting and unique. With the original techniques for the Pyromancy run, we didn't have item duping, so the run was to do all of you would actually have to do pretty much the whole start of the game on like soul level 2. Don't spend any souls, it's extremely difficult because you've got no vitality. Then you have to spend all your souls leveling your Pyromancy Flame up to plus 10 and buying the spells that you need, and then you also don't do much damage, so you have to use Power Within and go and get that, which is an absolute nightmare. So the original route was really difficult, but because we can item dupe, as soon as we get Quelaag's Soul, we can level our Pyromancy Flame, and as soon as we get the Firekeeper Soul, we can do the Covenant. So what I've done is moved all of that right to the start of the run to make everything much easier. And because we're going to dupe Quelaag's Soul to get the souls we need for the upgrade as well, we can spend the souls we get from bosses on just leveling our vitality and our endurance, and actually like reducing our chances of dying. In terms of upgrading the Pyromancy Flame, I might as well mention this now. So we're going to go to plus 12. If you wanted to dupe more souls and you wanted to take it higher, you could. Plus 12 is, there's quite a big cost increase from plus 12 to plus 13, and Quelaag Soul only gives us 8k each time. So that for me I felt was the optimal point to stop in terms of time efficiency. But if you wanted more damage to minimize risk, then you could just continue to dupe that soul and push the Pyromancy Flame up as high as you wanted. So I think that's going to be it for this video. Starting the next one, we'll talk about duping technique, and then we'll go through the rest of it. So here you can see we get, it's Chaos Storm we get at the final level. And yeah, so we've got top level in the Chaos Covenant, and I think that's it for this. Great, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll pick up in part 2 where we'll upgrade our Pyromancy Flame, get some spells, and then kill everything. Thanks.